Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to the Reforged Mafia YouTube channel. Today we have another Third Age Reforged 2v2v2v2 pitch battle on Burrowdowns. Today I am joined with Liam and Lister. Say what's up, guys.
What's up?
Hey
I
guys.
was waiting to give you the cue. I thought you already knew. Anyways, so the deal is with this is there's 8 players playing, and there's 4 teams, 2 players on each team. Everybody has brought an orc faction, so everybody on the same team has to play with the same faction. So you have Isengard, Witch Realm, you have Misty, and then you have Mordor. So it's kind of like you might as well place your bets now to see which faction is going to be the best. It's kind of like a orc clan brawl, would you say? And so it should be pretty good. What we have is all the units are on small, so the armies might look like, you know, where's all the orcs at? But it's because if we put 8-player orc factions on anything bigger than normal, the game would not be fun to play. It'd be so laggy. So
No, that's also like 20,000 orcs. That's too many orcs. Can you imagine like the troll mosh pit in the center? Crazy.
Oh gosh.
Hopefully we still get
Just
something
trolls
like
for
that.
days.
Trolls for days.
Yeah.
You're talking
So,
like 0.1 speed for the entire thing.
Yeah, would not be fun. But yeah, so without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and start with the army comps now that you guys know kind of like what the battle is about. Oh, and there is one more rule. Each army has to stay together, so both players have to stay together as one army. So it's like a very well micro orc army, which in reality that would not be possible. But for a gameplay, you can do whatever you want. So we'll start with Isengard, and let's see. We got Lango, who sent in the replay. He's playing with Isengard, and Longhorn, I think, has the other team.
Yeah, he
pretty
does.
much. Yeah, so pretty much both these armies are kind of they're going to be the same with like maybe 1 or 2 different units. But he's got in loose formation in his front line some Uruk-hai archers, along with Longhorn as well. He's got 3 units, and then some. I think he's just got some cheap fodder, some. What is it? Dunlin spears in the front.
No, he's got some Dunlendane clansmen with some,
and then some
pikemen, and then is that crossbows at the back as well? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some crossbows. So yeah, that's good. He's got his shield guys protecting his pikes in front. That's very good to see. Then he's got, I know he's got some raiders in there. Let's see, are those it? Snaga skirmishers, Dunlin veterans,
Got some
berserkers.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The
I
Raiders
don't know. That might be the other army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's got champions of the White Hand, very good
yes.
unit.
Yeah, these guys look
So,
snazzy.
Can Raiders
Yeah,
hide
so-
actually? Because I can't see them anywhere.
Well, I think so, but yeah, they might. I remember. I think I remember charging them.
They do.
I think I remember killing those guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
But
modest.
yeah, he's got some. He's got basic units in here, but he also has some elite units as well with champions of the White Hand, and what are those guards?
Gods of
Gods of
War
War thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some berserkers.
Yeah, and some Warg Riders and stuff, which come into play pretty big in these type of battles.
Quite low in like sword and board infantry. Lots of spears, some high tier swords, and a few wargs as well. But not really sort of any sword and board. But I think this is where Longhorn comes in.
Yeah, he's gonna compensate Lengo and bring in a lot of the infantry.
These
he's
guys
got
have got
3
the
units.
armor upgrade as well, I think.
They look so cool.
Because look how cool they would look. Why wouldn't you? If you've got 50 gold left over, you know where to spend them, ladies and gentlemen.
Plus, if you're lucky, you can trick your enemies into thinking you got the Nazkai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send them running before they ever hit
Just
you.
avoid them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got pikemen in front of them, and then some more clansmen in front of
Yeah.
them. He also brought a ballista.
Yeah, the
Which-
Isengard Ballista, which is like the... I think there's been a few adjustments since
reduced the accuracy, I
0.95,
think.
but they also increased the AoE damage as well? I'm not sure.
Slightly, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
But also the most notable change is that the other Orc factions now have other ballistas. I think it's only Isengard that has the Isengard ballista, obviously. So this is now more unique, and I think it just adds an extra layer to Isengard, because not many people played Isengard. So very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. They weren't very popular in 0.95, but for this, I guess they had to pick them. So
They've had quite a bit of a buff, I
Yeah.
think, in the last patch. They got a lot more armor, higher stats across the board generally.
yeah, and cool paint jobs.
Yeah,
So,
like the unit
Yeah.
models look pretty cool. They got like the engineer flat caps, pretty
Yeah.
snazzy.
Yeah. Plus, it makes
That's
sense
cool,
because Isengard was always a slightly more like science-y engineering.
Yeah,
feel.
that's the influence of Saruman as well. Get that black
Yeah.
powder, boys.
well, I think that's it for Isengard.
Yeah, I'll just
There might be a couple hidden units, but
Yeah,
for the most part,
probably just some Snaga or something like that.
yeah.
Well, Lango won't have any hidden ones because it's his army. But,
Yeah, true. Right, okay, so zipping over, we've got Ensfitz, who is going to be playing with Harry Ledden. Forgive my pronunciation. And these guys are going to be playing the Witch Realm of Agmar. So, on Agmar's side, we have some Warg Riders. I think that's 2 units, or is it 3? I think that might be a full contingent of Warg Riders. And then he's also
Yeah.
got the Witch Realm Inquisitors as well. And I think this is going to be his general. Yes, it is. And we've got the Mr. Goathorn with his big mace. It's going to do some damage. But yeah, so I think that's going to be his cavalry.
I think that's
For-
supposed to be Sauron, isn't it?
I think it's either based on... Is it Sauron?
It's not really. I think it's just a model they sort of stand. in for
Whoever he
Sauron
is,
for
he's
now.
overcompensating for something.
Sauron's the Witch King. Maybe it's the Witch King.
Yeah, I don't know. Regardless, I think the modders have done a good job. Very cool unit, and we just get a nice little close up, little drive by.
Ride that pony.
Okay, and so he's got some Witch Realm Scourge Raiders. These guys are quite high in damage. They've dual wields have had a little bit of a fix in 0.96. They were a little bit rubbish before, but they have now been rebalanced, and so hopefully we'll see a little bit more of them. And then he's also got some Gundabad Guard backing them up. You see some Orc. Oh, let's do this. Let's finish off Ensfitz. He's got some halberds and some Guardians of Khan Doom, backed up with some more halberds, and this is where the armies sort of merge. We've got the Black Watch Legion, very cool, with the skulls on their sort of shoulders, quite menacing. And of course we've got the Trolls of Gundabad and the Trolls of Angmar as well. Harry is also bringing some Hammer Guard, and we've got some Blackguard as well. These guys, the Barrowites are very, very cool. They've now got locked morale, so these guys are good for just holding the line, really good at breaking up rush faction charges, because you can just spread them out really thin, and they're just really awkward to deal with.
They are so slow. I mean, they're slower than troll drummers.
No, that is something. That is something.
Yeah, they are. You'll see them in the battle. There's like, gosh, are they even moving? But yeah, and they can hide too. So they'll lay flat on their face and hide.
That is pretty funny. And you can see what I mean here with the Orc Ballista. So this is now the standard Orc model. So that's, you know, a nice little tribute to Isengard and Helm's Deep. And actually, can I just interject before I pass on to Lister, who's going to do the remaining 2 army comps? I actually really like this map, and I think there's quite a lot of scope. So if anyone is interested in playing any other replays on here, or getting up some custom battles or some scenarios or something, just PM me on Discord and we can get something organised. But yeah, I'm just going to pass it on to Lister, who is going to do the army composition of Misty Mountains and of Mordor.
All right, thanks for that. Yeah, I think this map actually came from the Divide and Conquer submod, and they've sort of added it in the latest patch, and it's been quite popular actually. We've seen quite a few replays on here.
Yeah. I've seen a couple on UMADs and J Monsters. Yeah.
Yeah. So starting with the Misty Mountains, starting with Uncle Fungus. Sorry, pardon me. He also seems to be bringing, I think, the full 3. No, that's just 2. No, it is 3 Wogs. You've got the Bogs champions and then 2 of the Wog riders. They're all just quite close together, and it's hard to tell them apart.
Yeah, really good cav units.
Yeah, no, that should do pretty nicely. But then again, they're all Wog factions, and the sort of cavalry bonus is going to kind of cancel out in this game. So maybe it will be interesting to see how much the Wogs play into this game.
Yeah, I think
he's also got.
I think Witch Realm of Agmar will suffer with those mounted Inquisitors.
I think they just got such a bonus; they'll still do quite well.
But Ensfitz is quite experienced, so we'll see how good he is at sort of microing away from the hordes of wargs.
The Wogs, exactly.
The wargs.
They can still do pretty well on the charge. I've seen those guys clean up. They're pretty nasty. So he's got 2 units of the Black Orcs of the Mountain, nice shock troops there if used properly. He's got the Goblin King's Bodyguard, nasty bodyguard unit, along with some heavy Goblin Spears. Let's see how many units. Just the 2 for now.
Hopefully you
3
brought 4.
units of heavy Goblin Spears, some heavy Goblin Infantry, some just Goblin Infantry, a bit trash to throw away, heavy Goblin Archers, and some heavy Goblin Crossbows, along with another Orc Ballista, which I imagine is pretty similar to the Mordor one. I don't know if there's any differences.
It's the same
Interestingly,
model.
Yeah, he's only bringing one of the trolls, the Snow Trolls. I don't know how they stack up at the moment. I remember a while back they were supposed to be better than the Cave Trolls, the Mountain Trolls, but they actually ended up doing worse in comparison.
I watched that replay. I believe that there was been quite a lot of rebalancing of this particular unit that's gone into play, and now they're quite specialised. So they're actually really good at anti-cav. They can actually outpace some cav units, I believe. So when you're playing against someone like Rohan, these guys are actually quite good, and if you are playing against someone who you know is gonna take a lot of cavalry, then it might actually even be worth taking the pay increase and just going for it, because having 2 units of these bad boys, it really makes cavalry heavy factions think twice.
What do they have, like 5 or
7
7 HP?
They can do to maybe counteract that. So it is worth. You still don't want to throw them at Rohan too quickly. They seem to have they have a second unit with General WBPM, who is the other Misty Mountains leader, who seems to have quite a similar army in total, with a single unit of Snow Trolls, Bolgs Champions, 2 units of the Wog Riders, another Ballista, but this time he's got some Mountain Orc Berserkers. And apart from that, it seems largely to be the same. He's got more of the halberds this time instead of the spears. Yeah, he doesn't seem to have brought any of the spears, which is an interesting choice, because the spears are nasty.
And they're AP and everything else,
I was surprised I didn't see those in the other armies, but maybe they just agreed to sort of comp their armies together to sort of round out the Misty Mountains faction.
Yeah, they do look so cool. And actually, I think the Misty Mountains captain units are one of my favourite models in the game.
Which one's it?
The captains with the big pole arms.
Yeah, I think those guys are going to go to Dol Guldur in the long run once they update the game again. But for now, they're here and they're pretty awesome.
That suck.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's from in the Hobbit films. That's kind of what that helmet's from.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, there we go. We got some lore. We got some insider info. You heard it here first. Probably.
For all you nerds.
No, well, you definitely didn't hear it first. But I'll. Are you ready for Mordor? I think we're ready for some.
We should really be moving this along because we are taking quite a while just to get through these army comps. Right now, we're on to Mordor, and we have our first army from Lucky himself. Actually, he was in this game.
Yay!
Interestingly, he decided not to do their comp, but whatever. It's harder for me. Why don't you?
I can't even remember what I brought.
He seems to be bringing some of the Orc fodder, one of the more OP units of the game in general, just generally.
Yep, standard.
Or are they trash? I can't remember which.
Cost
have 2 of those because the first one's free and then the second one's basically it's 100.
No,
150. Yeah.
Oh, in 0.96 they've changed it, haven't they?
Yeah. It's 150 now, but who cares? It's like if you got 19 units, you know, just buy that next one.
Still basically free. He's got some of the Orc Archers, 2 units of those. Some Morannon Archers, going relatively Archer heavy for an Orc faction. Yep, 2 units of those, 2 of each. Morannon Guard, more Morannon Heavy Maulers, some more of the Morannon Infantry. So going largely so far for a quantity over quantity.
I was about to say.
The very nasty Melkor Chosen. Some heavy Maulers, the Minas Morgul Chosen, though, a pretty good spear unit.
Yeah.
I don't think anything too outstanding.
They're kind of mid to high tier by other factions reckoning that they are the best spear unit that Mordor could bring, but they're not really like they don't really match up. Yeah.
Well, Mordor were never really known for their spears and shields, more for their shields really.
Yeah.
And finally, he has a unit of the Númenórean Lancers with their lovely new green cloaks to differentiate them from the Umbar.
Yeah,
Númenórean Lancers.
Cool. And I believe this is WK's graphic design work as well on the shields.
Yes, I think so.
Well, if so, shout out. We're still waiting on our banner.
You tell him. Right, on to Stannis Baratheon's army for the final comp.
I'm a Stannis. He's like the worst commander ever.
Ooh, he seems to have a slightly bigger army, or is it quite similar again? Again, bringing a fair number of archers, 2 units of Orc Archers, some Morannon Archers, 2 of each, some more Morannon Spear Guard, more Orc Javelins this time. Those can be quite nasty considering how cheap they are if they can get all their shots off.
Are they still 350?
I think they're a bit more expensive now because in 0.95 they were, but they were a little too cheap. I think they're maybe 400, 450 now, and they've had their accuracy nerfed a little bit because they were just kind of good. I remember playing as Linden once and thinking, oh, it's fine, they'll just all miss, and my pipeline got eviscerated before I even blinked. So don't make that mistake.
Don't do it this time.
Morannon Halberds.
Yep.
He brought more of a pushing, I guess.
Yeah.
Force. I brought the
He's got
numbers.
2 units of the Black Legion of Barad-dûr. Hopefully he knows how to push them past people, because I've seen people bring them and just use them as normal sword and board, and it's frankly a shame to see. And finally, some Orc Fodder and the Temple Executioners, one of the nastier 2-handers of the game. If you can get them with your cav charges, you really should, because you don't want them carving through your army, because they will.
You'll have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
One simply doesn't die. Yeah, no.
I think he has another unit of them. Yeah, he also has the cap as well. He's got the Melkor's Chosen and another unit of the Lancers.
Yeah.
So definitely a Lancer heavy faction here, but will they do that well with all these wards on the field?
Let us see. Right, without further ado, I think we're ready to kickstart this off to ×1 speed, and the skirmish is pretty much underway, and we have Ensfix charging Longhorn's archers with his wargs.
Yeah, I think it caught him off guard. He's probably trying to check all the other teams and looking where they were, but that's not like, it's not a real bad charge because the wards don't have like a huge charge bonus. I think it's like 7 maybe.
Do the Warg Riders still have the 2 hit points, or is that being adjusted?
Yes. Well, I know they do for Misty. I don't know about any other factions though.
I thought the basic Warg Riders had theirs taken away, and it was now just the heavy duty bodyguard wargs which had it, but maybe I'm wrong.
We actually have some very aggressive play by Witch Realm of Agmar. We have the trolls and some cycle charge going in. Yes, they are charging spears at the end of the day, but they are quite low tier spears.
They're also facing away and not braced, which will significantly make the charge a bit easier for them. Ooh, trolls going right in there.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Infix knows what he's doing with his trolls, but those are heavy duty trolls. I wouldn't throw like cave trolls in there like that, where they could just get ripped.
No, that said, Lango is now charging them down with his Champions of the Right Hand, which is a really good way to get rid of trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as good as before, because I think they've lost their AP charges. Back in 0.95, they would just tank through just about anything they charged, even trolls.
Yeah.
Longo
Yeah, it
is
looks like-
silencing the ballista.
It looks like
Pretty big
Longhorn
loss.
got kind of caught off guard a little bit here.
Yeah, I think this is quite successfully rushed. He's closed the gap, he's silenced the ballista quite early on, and a lot of Longhorns fodder units are sort of down and out for the count. And Lango is kind of trying to screen against Mordor, but
And he's also coming around the back. You can actually see 2 of his cab units who've gone the whole way around one of those barrows and are now coming in
Dude, there's a
behind
nice
Isengard.
Cab
Yeah,
charge
which one
with the
Inquisitors?
crossbows.
However,
we've
are they
got-
going to fall foul of those hidden skirmishers?
we
that's
see
not good.
Lango's Urukai Berserkers being punished. Some damage from the stakes, but
Some
already.
caps were rounded off.
Okay, so unfortunately for Longhorn, I think this is pretty much over for him. He's going to be hard pressed to sort of recoup, and I think with Mordor pressing, Stannis Baratheon pressing Lango, I think Isengard is off to a bad start.
Yeah,
I would
and
say so.
Misty's just kind of over there taking their time. They spawned farther than the rest of us did.
You can't even blame them, though, because, I mean, they're still
Yeah.
running towards it, and they're not even going to be there by the time Isengard are dead.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think Mordor is engaging Isengard at the top of the hill over there. I think that's the first part of that engagement.
Oh, the dangerous orc fodder, impetuous and tired. And we also have a cav charge against some Dunlondon veterans coming in from your Numenorian Lancers, looking very suave in the green. And let's just get a cinematic pan of the battlefield.
Yeah,
It's
it's
utter chaos at the moment.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much just like
I think we should slow
fighting
it down.
right off the bat.
Should we
Yeah,
slow it down
slow
to
this
point,
down a
point,
little bit.
point 0.5, 0.6, and let's
Yeah.
just kind of dissect what's sort of been happening. So if we go quickly over to the initial Gundabad Isengard front line, we see it's pretty much clean up crew. Most of the low tier fodder units have died, and it's just small pockets that is remaining. And it's pretty much over. They've chosen not to attack Lango's rear, at least not with the bulk of his army yet. I think they're regrouping, cleaning up all of these pockets, and then just almost letting Lango whittle down Stannis and Titus. Misty Mountains, of course, is always late. We had to wait 3 movies for them to arrive when we were watching the Hobbit series, and unsurprisingly they are last here as well. So I think that Ensvitz and Harry are just sort of waiting for Stannis to sort of kill himself on the remnants of Lango's army, and I think
That's
that's
what he
it.
did in Game of Thrones, so why
Mm.
not here?
Well, we're role playing from two different fantasies. Come on,
We're not nerds.
we're niche. We're niche.
But no, we started engaging, and I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't see that Longhorn had 3 units of Uruk-hai infantry behind this hill, so it was a bad part on me. So I was like, oh yeah, I can take that line. Not.
Yeah, I've also decided this battle that I'll zip around the map a lot less. I think we're going to go for a few more cinematic shots, get some battle lines, give you guys less of a headache. We're still kind of new to this, so we're just finding out what works best, what the people want.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. That rhymed.
Well, it's rhymed, so you're going to have to
Some of those
subscribe now.
Inquisitors getting quite close to some spikes there.
Now Misty Mountains, I think, is coming over. Was that Misty Mountains?
Let's just have a look, see where they are. Wow, they are taking
Never
They're
mind.
in no rush. They're in no rush. Let's put it that way. Again, we still have some of the higher tier units like the guards of Orthanc. They're sort of making short work of these Witchfront pikemen, but I think they'll probably actually win this. But actually, no, there's 2 units. They're gonna
see Saruman dead on the ground as well.
Oh yeah, the bloody corpse of the White Wizards. Bye bye Sharky. But yeah, I think at this point in time,
anyway.
I think Angmar will probably wait. I think this is probably why, Titus, you guys didn't really want to commit so heavily. I mean, at least not across the whole line, because Misty Mountains is sort of coming.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking?
In this particular battle, everyone has the, I guess, chance to get double teamed, because we all kind of met in the middle. And so pretty much what we're expecting is everyone's, we're going to engage Isengard, Misty Mountains is going to see it, and then engage us. And I think what the Witch Realm's thinking is that if they engage Isengard, Misty will come behind them and sandwich them in a sandwich. So I think it's kind of like just like a touchy feeling right now. Everyone's going after Isengard because they're already half dead anyways. So it's kind of like might as well pick off something while we can.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
I think we should pop this to one point speed, just because it's almost like a stalemate. But you were saying, Lister?
Well, it's good that the Witch Realm was sort of holding back now, because they were at risk of becoming sort of victims of their own success. They'd really hammered home their sort of attack with Bloodlust. They would have ended up, just sandwiched between Mordor and Misty Mountains, and then
and they might get the most
easily
kills
themselves.
if they would do that. They might get the most kills, but that means they don't have any men left, because if they hit their back lines, once Isengard was killed, then they'd just be fighting us right there too. So kind of it's a good call on them while we waste all of our ammo and our fodder units and everything else.
Well, to be fair, that it's not like they're escaping without punishment. This missile barrage is pretty relentless, and these Farah arrows do take their toll, and that is one of the Isengard generals down. I believe that was Langos. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, we just won't know. I think
it was though, because Longhorn had moved a lot of his troops away from that area beforehand.
Yeah. Where are the Guards of Orthanc? No, the Guards of Orthanc are dead.
Probably the last one.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Isengard did defeat us on top of that hill battle. So they are now moving down and I think flanking us.
And we have Misty Mountains with Bolg's Champion and the Wargs Riders charging now, almost turning Witch Realm of Agmar's own game against them. They kind of caught them unawares, and sure, they're only really getting Barrow Whites and not high tier units, and perhaps a little bit of an overextension because these Warg Riders have broken. So that's 2 units that have broken. So potentially a little bit aggressive. That was a lot of arrow fire and quite a quick response for what essentially was some low tier units.
But that's what wargs do. If they break in high number, they'll come back. But when you charge them in by themselves with nothing else around, and you charge them into a whole army, they're gonna break in a matter of seconds. Just because.
Well, to be honest, with the new patch, even a lot of knight units will do that. If you charge them in completely by themselves, most cav units will break pretty quickly.
Yeah. So it's always best to use them for anti-cav, because they don't have the best charge and they're good in melee. Or wait till your army engages and then use them. But yeah, charge them in just like they are, just a high tier cav unit is not the best idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's going on with the rest of Isengard then?
Ooh.
They still got some forces left.
Yeah, nothing that. I think they're just they were positioned so badly at the start that they decided to spread all the way out.
Yeah, Isengard did win that. So we kind of decided to move back a little bit and then wait for Misty. But at this point, it's like we're the ones that are sandwiched now. 'Cause we lost one side, so that means we're just gonna get double teamed.
And the Misty Mountains are coming for you pretty quickly if you look towards the east of it.
They see a wounded duck and they're like, yes, let's take it.
Look to the east at the 4th day, or whatever.
Exactly.
And then there'll be a horde of scabby orcs of the Misty Mountains.
You're gonna get someone that corrects you on that. It's the 5th day.
Yeah, I know. Haha, I need to read a book. Very funny. So, we do have the snow trolls sort of trotting. May this be the first signs of aggression. We've got a little bit of singing going on by these mountain berserkers as well. Not sure if it's gonna. Oh my god, they've even got a little dance. Yeah. These guys like to throw themselves around.
Their fear chant. Also, it's looking like the last of your.
They're like speaking tongues.
Melkor's chosen have been wiped out by Isengard's crossbows. Lucky, got one left.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Stannis has been reckless with the Stormrunners.
Yeah, they took forever to get there. So what I did is I clicked where I wanted them to, and then they took forever, and I forgot about them, and then they just kept walking, and then I was like, oh, that's too far, and then they engaged them. I'm like, whatever, shouldn't even brought them.
We've all done that before, Walter.
Don't bring troll drummers to an orc battle.
Yeah, no, it's troll. I believe that the troll drummers are getting an AoE increase. I basically begged Kuro to do something to either make them go faster or have an AoE increase, because orc factions, let's face it, are predominantly rush factions, and if your units always break, and troll drummers are the answers, but they're also the slowest unit in the game, it doesn't really go well together, and it just means, and this is bad positioning by these halberds. The body piercing is sort of wrecking them a little bit.
I remember him saying in the game that it was hard for him to turn his units. I think something wasn't working out. I was telling him to, and he was trying. So it wasn't like he wasn't trying, or he went.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's not there's pathfinding issues with sometimes units in these sort of custom maps.
Yeah, it was kind of something funny, but I mean, it's kind of like we're kind of already wiped out anyways, so it's at this point we lost.
Yeah, you guys. I was just looking around to see if you had anything really. Hats off to Lango. He seems to have really caused you guys some serious harm. I'm surprised, because at one point I thought you guys would just have it. This Misty Mountains army, I think, is going to make short work of this front line because of these auto-pathing issues. It just means that unfortunately there's been no front line, and that's left huge gaps. So I think Mordor is going to suffer.
We are down for the count pretty much, and Misty kind of made the Witch Realm turn their army, which I guess it's okay. It's buying them some time while Misty loses some troops, and then after that, Misty's either gonna have to go after Isengard or Angmar, and
they'll have to go after Angmar at that point.
Yeah, Angmar's like the closer army anyways, and they have to turn their back. So yeah, I think
look at that shield. Look how big it is.
Yeah,
that is an impressive.
Yeah, so
shield.
we'll still decide who's the best orc faction, which we need like a 3 out of 5 gameplay to find that out. But
yeah, maybe let's have on the cards. Let's just watch some of the last pockets of fighting. Unfortunately, Mordor didn't have the enough sort of power in the tank. We do have some Temple Inquisitors still going, but they're fighting the Blackback Mountain Berserkers, which are another high tier unit, and I actually think, I'm not sure who would win in this matchup. Of course,
it'd be Blackback.
Oh, do you reckon?
I think it'd be Blackback. Yeah.
Well, I think it would be the Executioners.
I'm with the Executioners. I think they'd get some early kills off the charge if the Blackback Mountains got their charge off, but then I think in the long run the Temple Executioners would outlast them.
I don't know. Blackbacks, I mean, I take Blackbacks over the heavy or the Goblin King bodyguard.
Well,
like for my general unit, because I prefer them so much better.
Oh, I'd agree with
But
you there.
it's I don't know. We'll see in the comments if anyone thinks the blackbacks or executioners are better. What do they think? And I guess it depends on the circumstances, but that's
Well,
my opinion. And is blackbacks, and your opinion's executioners.
To be fair, if you cycle charge the blackbacks, if you put them in for like 30 seconds, pull them out, charge them in again, if they're not really watching to sort of stop you doing it, you could definitely probably kill them off quite easily, actually.
and there goes Stannis' general, I believe, or is that Titus?
Probably mine.
Okay. I think it was the Melkors
yeah.
chosen. But we actually have the first engagement between Witch Realm and Misty Mountains. Misty Mountains are sort of ready to receive. They're sort of reorganizing their front lines, but they have sort of thrown in some Mountain Orc Berserkers. Not a terrible use for them because there isn't too much sort of archer fire. So as like a slowing down strategy, they're still going to do relatively well against the Guardians. Do you see some quite aggressive play by the Scourge Raiders? But really,
yeah, it's kind of now it's turning into just a big old brawl. I mean, it's like throw everything in there.
We still have some of Lango's Uruk-hai infantry right in the hill as well. I think they're doing what the Witch Realm of Agmar did at the beginning. They're sort of hanging back, waiting to see what's going to happen.
And they deserve it because they got double teamed at the beginning, so they was like, it's if I was them, I would do the same thing. Just wait.
And that's another general down, pretty much in exactly the same space. Let's just have a look around. I think they were just trapped. You see some of them. Yeah, I think they were just trapped, unfortunately. But let's zoom back down to this main battle line.
That could have been Misty's general, because there's some bold champions surrounded by some halberds in the same spot.
Yeah, no, that was, and then there was also some Melkors chosen who got caught by them as well. So price effective unit.
No, Snow Trolls are doing work. I mean, they're holding up the line, so Agmar can't push in.
Yeah, and we
So
do.
Yeah,
like
he really needs to rush up those spears against those, and halberds with those heavy armored units. But here comes a back flanking. It's gonna really hurt.
These guys are AP as well, so these guys will not win this engagement, especially since they have the fearmongers. These guys are isolated. They're now shaken. I won't be surprised if they waver and break. They are quite high tier, so they might recover. But if the Bulge champions are here, another fear causing unit, and there we go, broken. And then that frees up 5 units. That's bad news for Ensfitz. He really needs to block up this right hand side flank. Really, I think the Orcs of the Misty Mountains definitely have the upper hand, though they still have some decent units. We've got some Barrow Rights, some Cav, but also some Misty Mountains Cav as well, sort of cycle charging these Barrow Rights to the back.
Which is kind of a wasted time. I mean, Burrow Whites aren't going to get hardly any kills. So
no.
They're made to just throw, like, say you were defending a castle and you threw them right in the middle of the gate. It would take them a long time to get past those Barrow Whites if you threw more units in there. They're just kind of like a speed bump.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because they have 3 HP. So, but their attacks like what, like 1 or 2? Like it's like nothing.
Low. It's low.
Yeah,
they're a meat.
So, yeah. So, in a short story, he should be going and charging with those Bulge champions, something more pricey, something more effective.
Like short of charging, your cav into stakes or pikes, it's basically the dream is to have them charge those Barrow Whites because they're not charging other things while they could be doing that.
Yeah,
it's wasting their time if not their health.
Yeah, and
so
I think
just...
I'm just having a little span of the battlefield, and I think Isengard are sort of. I think they're just sort of grouped up. We see a couple of maybe about 200-300 men. Nothing special. Got some crossbows, but really, They might be able to kill a couple of hundred if they remain on this position, but looking at the numbers that Misty Mountains can bring, even though this battle was it small, Titus?
Yes, it was on small, but there was 2 units of, or 2 teams each.
Yeah.
So it was like just a massive, well microed army that, more microed than usual.
It reminds me of the those sub-commander battles they used to do.
Yeah.
You'd have,
It's almost like Total War Arena.
yeah, a little bit like that.
The concept is that you all basically, one player would play Cav you would all basically play together like 3 or 4 people, and you would make up one army, a little bit like Total War Arena, where you could play, I'll command the archers or I'll command the cavalry, and it kind of plays out in interesting ways. If you guys are looking for ways to keep Reforged fresh, it just adds another element, and also you usually play with lesser numbers as well, so it makes it a little bit more intensive. There's like loads of little brawls usually, rather than one like pitch battle. So if you're looking for ways to keep it fresh, and if they turn out to be really good battles, send them in, and we'll be happy to record them.
Yeah, and I would have loved to did this on, anything bigger than normal or large scale units, but my lord, it would be Lag City. So playing it small like this wasn't bad. I'm sure if you played all man factions, it wouldn't be that bad on normal or huge. But when you got 8 players, I mean, you just have to mitigate it.
You could do it for the elves on huge.
Yeah, you could actually.
Yeah.
Actually want to see.
I think Lango and exactly. They kind of seizing the opportunity. I think they realised that they wouldn't be able to kill Misty Mountains if they had just left them to clear up the Witch Realm of Ankmar, and that's one of the Azogs down. And we still have one in the Bolts Champion. So I'm at 16,400 frames, by the way, guys.
So yeah, now Misty, since they were late to the battle, now they are getting double game around circle.
Yeah, but they're being double teamed by such raggy armies. I mean, I know no one's really got huge amounts of troops left, but I think Misty is the most healthy out of everyone. I guess arriving late does sort of play a factor, and this is sort of why free-for-alls are my least favourite, and I guess this wasn't a free-for-all because it's a 2v2v2, but the way that the scenario and the rules of this particular games have worked, it's essentially made it free-for-all, as this is said. And too often in free-for-all, it's last person in wins. So I've been trying to think about new ways to make free-for-all sort of more balanced and less about timing.
And that's one thing, like with the orc factions, like more people were inclined to just, let's play how orcs play, and that was one of the rules: is no holding back. Like it, when Lango did it, it wasn't a bad thing because he was just kind of taking his time and regathering his army and resting them, but he didn't hold back at the beginning. So. Misty, they were back pretty far, but they committed forward every time. But the whole time they were marching forward. But like with free-for-alls, it's like when you are defensive, it's like there's no point because it's boring, and then you'll be at like you'll have more troops in the end, and it's just like, yeah, it's good to win, but it's not fun to play like that.
Can backfire a bit though as well, because a lot of defensive armies bring a few too many archers, which don't really often pay for themselves in free-for-alls. Crossbows, like javelins, tend to, but archers often just get killed one way or another by flanking calves that you don't see coming, or something like that.
If they get tagged, I mean, it's kind of like game over for them.
And you can't even really try and do like balance free-for-alls by having it about the number of kills, because generally if someone comes in a bit later, like Misty's have here, they probably have a lot of kills at the moment because they didn't wait till all the other armies were dead. They just waited till they were engaged and then took them out of position.
Yeah, so most kills never works. And like, what if you're like, there's 3 orc factions and you're the dwarves? Like,
Exactly.
you know.
It'd be great if there was like a function built into the game which sort of did like scaled scoring. So, you know, 2 points for a dwarf, 0.5 for an orc, or however it would end up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, quality as well. You're killing with temple executions. And they might be Mordor, but they're not shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there goes another Mordor general.
Lister.
Yeah.
You can do scored resolution battles, you know, so it depends on how many men you killed, and that's how you rank up. That is usually the best way to do it for free for all, but I would quite like to see some other. It's sort of like not third age specific. I don't think. I don't know. It's
Well, I think it might be in third age. Just, even if it has it, I don't think it sort of scales the things as well. Because as we were saying, it might base it off the number of kills. But if you're an orc faction, you're never going to win that unless it scales. But I don't know if it scales to sort of number of troops or quality of troops that you kill as well.
Yeah.
Well,
here we go. Now we got Isengard and Misty. They're finally engaged, and I think Isengard really wanted to use up their ammo on just sitting in the open halberds. You know, they out there with no shields in front of them, so it's kind of like free pickings if you have any archers left. Now he's trying to flank, which is turning Misty's army. You want to try to turn orc units as best you can, even if it's orc on orc. If you can surround an orc unit, you have a pretty good chance of breaking them and not having to kill them all.
Also, see what he's done here is he's thrown in 7 infantry units, and it's keeping back 60. And what he's doing is he's using this, or he was basically just slowing them down, and it's meant that the javelins can get 2-3 extra volleys off easily, and he could just do it again with these out of ammo crossbows. So I think this unit of halberds is pretty much over. This unit of halberds is also being kited by the Uruk-hai archers. So good use of javelins, good use of not huge amounts of troops, and that means that he's had 2 units of pikes that's actually been able to basically 2v1 1 unit of halberds, and this is good play. This is some good play by Longcore.
Yeah, it's pretty. Nice.
Yeah.
Behind maybe.
Yeah, and is that Angmar in the back?
It is, but they haven't got a whole lot left. I think they've got.
No, they were darker units. It looked like.
No, it's just some barrow-bites.
Yeah, so they're kind of wasting their time sitting there fighting those because it takes forever to kill them.
Those guys are not pretty. Those
there goes
skirmishers.
Misty's general.
Yeah, Misty's general. The one unit of Azog, and
could lead to a rout.
Yeah, this is actually incredible. Nice comeback. He's still got some Uruk-hai archers on the right hand side. These guys are actually wavering under the javelin volleys. Expensive units.
Point blank.
The pikemen as well made short work of the halberds. So this is actually, I think the Bolgs champion is an issue for Isengard, but saying that they've kind of been caught
they also
out.
Have pikes.
They have pikes, and also it seems enough archers to at least sort of put Uncle Fungus under pressure here. He's going to turn around and see if he can silence them, but I mean, come on, it's like 11-8 Uruk-hai archers. He's not really getting the prize to end all prizes here. I'm just going to zoom in on the mini-map as well, so we can see.
Full units of sort of heavy goblin halberds at sort of 60 breaking now.
Yeah, they're wavering and exhausted. One of the generals is dead. So, but yeah, Isengard, it looked like they didn't have enough to do really anything, but kind of pulled it out of a hat and pretty much turned it around.
It looks like the only significant unit they've got left are now a unit of heavy goblin spears fighting those barrow whites still.
Yeah, and those spears they have in front by Isengard will break at any moment.
No, this is why you need troll drummers. Can Witch Realm of Agmar even take them anymore?
No, it's just Misty and Mordor.
Yeah, it's a shame because I mean Misty could have done with some as well. These guys are in mass route mode, and you can just see sort of everyone is either broken or shaking or wavering, and some of these units have 60 plus men in them. I think this is going to be a win for Isengard, surprisingly, who had the hardest sort of start, was punished the most aggressively, and managed to
hard gameplay.
He lost once and beat 2 individual little battles, and yeah, maybe I think I might be a new Isengard main. I think I might have to try these guys out. Not to mention the fact that they look awesome since their visual upgrade as well. Appreciative of the armor upgrades. These guys do look sick. Not what you want to bump into. They look sick, man.
Yeah, I think Isengard's come a long way. They're more, I think, balanced, I guess.
More viable.
You don't have to rely on their pikes that much, as much as everyone thought you did in 9.5, 0.95, and before that. But yeah, now I think since they've had a lot of updates, that people kind of want to test them out and see. And it's good to test out a unit like that. They have they have numbers, but I'd say they're more similar to a man faction than orc factions.
Yeah, and actually I think that the unit that allowed Isengard to get this victory has actually been the Snark Skirmishers. They have put down so much damage, and because they lose so many men so quickly, they just cause morale shock. And again, you got 32 broken. As soon as either any fear causing units is he's admitted defeat, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
They wasted so much time on a unit of Barrow Whites, and these guys have locked morale, so they're never going to break.
And they still have 8 of them left, and it took 2 units fighting that to get them down to 8. And it was just a big waste of time.
Ensfitz has 1 unit left, 1 guy left, I think, which is his general. He's charged them straight into the pikes, and
he does not care.
He got all the way
still
through.
Going.
Got all the way through, poking Snarger in the face with his tiny, massive overcompensation.
Literally an 8-foot pike through his chest. He does not care.
Yeah.
He's just running rampant.
Him and his Barrow Whites, they're just holding down the fort.
Isengard's crossbows, again, the skirmishers, you're right, did a ton of work, but their crossbows against you, playing as Mordor, sort of in the mid-game, they definitely must have racked up a lot.
Yes, yeah, and that's one thing I wasn't expecting, because this battle, I mean, it happened so fast. There's like the point where 5 minutes into the battle, everything just boom, went off. And then it's like, where did my units go?
Did you guys see that? There was a javelin that got thrown, and this Barrow White just as if it was a Hollywood movie, just got blasted back 5 feet and then just got up.
It was a ballista at first.
No, you see their weapons?
It's like
see their weapons? It's like a stick.
Yeah, no, it's kind of just it's like a little. Oh wow, I think he must be a captain or something, because I've seen some with swords.
Man, he's just a fancy
this one's got an axe.
Fancy.
It's clearly random. Yeah. I guess this game just goes to show that in a free-for-all you should kick people while they're down, because otherwise they'll come back.
Punish. And I think
someone's getting
there's
right there.
there's Laster for the Gundabad Guard, and we see Ensfix's general trying to rack up some kills against these Urukai crossbowmen. Thinking better of it, decides to go for the rear charge of the pikemen and some Urukai archers. I think he went back because now his troops are steady. But perhaps not for much longer. Still shaking.
No.
I think he's gonna. Oh, managed to slip out, and he's trying the same trick again, and it doesn't work. You can't.
In the face.
In the face. He took a pike to the face, to the knee, pike to the knee, and he's not going to recover from that one. And I think at this stage, with all the generals down, I'm just going to times 2 speed it. I think this was, I mean, it kept me guessing for pretty much the whole time. Let's have a look at the kills. Bear in mind it was on small, so I mean 1.4 like 1,000 troops for a Mordor army is tiny. So we actually see Longhorn coming up with the most kills, and then I think the next 3 are Ensfix, Harry Leden, and Lango as well.
But it's generally pretty even across the board, which is surprising.
Yeah. I think it's a question of timing.
Yeah, I expected a bit more of a disparity there.
Everyone just ripped each other's heads off, and that was, that's a orc clan battle.
What got the most then for Isengard?
So we have the Uruk-hai pikemen, 2 units coming in above 100 kills. Some Orc Bane, half-orc spear guard as well, doing quite well. Champions of the White Hand. Crossbows doing surprisingly mediocre, 9 and 62.
I thought they did a lot better.
Yeah. Let's check out the other army. These crossbows did 133 and 137, so I think those were the crossbows we saw against Mordor.
Yeah. And it was on small, so you could pretty much times all those numbers by 2 or 3 if it was the exact same way played. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on huge.
Yeah.
Again, we have some Champions of the White Hand being utilized quite well, over 200 kills. I think those are the standout ones, and to manage to get 93 kills, I know that they're the best ballista in the game at the minute.
But it was attacked fast.
But for them to get 93 kills in a 2v2v2 on a pitch battle when they got rushed, it's pretty good. So I think we'll leave it there. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to thank Lister for coming on and helping us talk out.
All right.
And again, thanks for Titus, who is, my YouTube buddy.
Yeah, we just buddies, man.